How you doing, guys? It's me, Don Fanatic, and welcome to another Pokemon X and Y WiFi battle. Today I have a PU battle against the one and only Throw That Shit. I'm sure you all know who he is, especially if you follow me on Twitter and probably follow him on Twitter. But yeah, it's a PU battle, and looking at his team, he's got a team full of really offensive threats. Other than Boldor, I'm pretty sure the rest of his Pokemon are offensive. So he's got a pretty, I'll call it hyper offensive team. However, I have 4 offensive Pokemon and 2 walls. He has 1 suicide lead and 5 hard-hitting attackers. This game I knew from the start was going to be really hard. He has the Throw, which is Life Orb, it turns out. I see the Krokorok, which is probably going to be a Choice Scarf Moxie set. He has the Magmar, which I'm not really sure what it could be. It could be a Violet, it could be Choice, it could be Life Orb. I have a Life Orb one myself, so if it came to Magmar versus Magmar, I would have the upper hand. He also has Blossom, which doesn't really bother me at all because I have 3 things that can take that thing out relatively easy. He has a Choice Band Slacking, and then he has his Suicide Boldor lead, which I expect him to do. Basically, I knew when you see a Boldor on the opponent's team, expect Stealth Rocks on the first turn and Explosion on the second turn. That's what you need to expect. So, underestimating how bulky this thing is, I go for the Earthquake. This isn't Stab, by the way, and this thing is probably a Violet, so it's not even too bad. It'll have Sturdy, so there's no point in having a Sash. That's what makes it a really good Suicide lead. So he goes for the Stealth Rocks, and I'm expecting him to go for the Explosion on this turn. So I'm going to go into my defensive wall, which is my Bulbasaur, and not Bulbasaur, sorry, my Ivysaur. And after the Stealth Rocks and the Explosion, he's not actually, he could have been Normal Gem, I guess. Normal Gem might have actually taken out my Ivysaur, but I do survive this Explosion quite comfortably. And he goes down, so now he's got 5 offensive Pokemon on his team that I have to try and sort out. So in comes Magmar, which is always going to be a threat. And predicting a fire move, I go into Jester, my Hypno, but he actually goes for the Psychic, which I guess is a kind of a smart idea, because obviously I could have swapped into anything else expecting the fire move, but as Hypno is my special wall, swapping into this thing would have been a good move on whatever move you wanted to go for. But as you can see, I completely ate that Psychic up, and this is where I figure out his choice. He doesn't lose any HP, so he's not Life Orb. He could be a Violet or Leftovers or something like that, but he swaps, which kind of confirms that his choice doesn't want to stay in. Give the Seismic Toss on this Blossom, which is what comes in. I kind of figured I wanted to hit something. I'd actually run Toxic on this one. I actually have one with Toxic and one with Magic Coat, so if you guys are watching this trying to get a little scouting session on my team, you will not know which one I bring. But yeah, I go for the Magic Coat here, predicting him to go for a Sleep Powder. Kind of thinking he might go for a Toxic, thinking he might be a bulkier set, because obviously he only had 1 defensive Pokemon, and Blossom's not bad, especially defensively, I don't think. So I decided to swap out here into Ivysaur, predicting either a Sleep Powder or a Toxic or something like that, but he goes straight for the Hidden Power, and it turns out this is actually an offensive Blossom with Life Orb, and that Hidden Power actually takes me out. It's probably Hidden Power, I'm guessing Ice or Fire, not really sure, but it has to be one of them really. Could have been Psychic, but that's just crazy. Anyway, in comes Bunnelby, because I'm Scarfed and obviously huge power. I'm thinking U-turn might take this thing out, but I underestimated Blossom, and Blossom's actually a really cool Pokemon. I must try it out. It looks really good, and especially as it's shiny, it actually looks really nice. The pink flowers really suit it, and Purple Body. Anyway, let's just get off the topic of flowers. I'm going to go into Swagmar, predicting that Sleep Powder. This is what swung the momentum my way here. He obviously didn't realise that we could have Vital Spirit, but I do, and I go straight for the Flamethrower. I don't really understand why he didn't go into his Magmar, predicting that. And then he could have got a big hit on one of my Pokemon. If he'd have swapped there into Magmar, it might have been, it could have turned out better for him in this instance. But in comes Throw, and I'm thinking Swagmar done its job. I have Pokemon that can deal with everything else, so I'm just going to go for a Psychic. And I know Throw is actually really bulky in special defense and HP, but that Psychic done so much. I know I'm Life Orbed, but it's also non-stab, so I was really surprised by how much that done. Anyway, he goes for the knockoff and actually kills me, which is quite surprising. But he is Life Orbed himself, so I guess overall it's probably not too surprising. But in comes Bunnelby, and you know when Bunnelby comes into the game, stuff is about to happen. I've actually changed his name to Bunnelby though now, hashtag Bunnelby though. And Return takes that throw out clean. So this Bunnelby has caused what? I don't know, took Boldor down half its HP, did massive damage to Belossin, and I kind of figured I'd have to sacrifice things. I've done loads of damage to that, and then he just unnecessarily goes for the Giga Impact, and that Bunnelby is, I don't know, you could probably line up 10 Bunnelbys and they'd all die. That was such overkill, but never mind, it does mean I can get a free switch in on whatever I want, and obviously because it is Truant, or however you say it, I give the knockoff here. He actually stays in, which surprised me. His choice banded, so maybe he wanted me to knock it off just so he can move his moves about. Or mix his moves up, sorry. And I do actually carry the Brick Break. I didn't show that on the first turn. And I do take Slacking out, which is brilliant because Slacking is a huge threat. Truant doesn't really hamper it a bit. It is the best revenge killer you can have, especially with a base 160 attack. Giga Impact hitting you square in the face. Anyway, Eyeshine almost takes this thing out, which kind of confirms his choice. He's not going to be a Violite, because if he was a Violite, he would have carried Intimidate as well, and the Eyeshine would have done very little. And he actually gets the Moxie boost as well. So now now knowing he's locked into this Earthquake, I go into Jester, knowing he can't go for a Dark move unless he swaps out and then swaps back in again. So he actually goes straight for the Earthquake, and I live, and that is what swung the game completely my way. The pendulum was swinging, and yeah, I don't really know what I'm trying to say about a pendulum, but yes, I do manage to kill the Krokorok on this turn, and he has only his Magmar left, and I have this, well, my Hypno, it's almost dead, and I have my Simipour, which I haven't actually even used yet, but in comes his Magmar, and he has the Hidden Power. I don't know what Hidden Power is. Maybe it's a Hidden Power. Well, he's obviously locked himself into it, expecting, or knowing I have Simipour left, and he needs something to do damage. And this is where I find out he's actually a choice spec set. Well, I'm assuming he is, because he doesn't outspeed me, and I do hit the Hydro Pump. If I'd have missed that Hydro Pump, this game could have ended differently. He's not slashed because he dies in one hit, and that is the very nice and very close 1-0 against Throw That Shit. So thank you for that battle. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did too. It'll probably go on his channel at some point because it was a good game. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else to say. By the way, if you haven't seen, I have been tweeting it, but SizAwesome has uploaded a free-for-all which I was in, and I can't really think of anything else to say. I'm 7 subs off 350. It's my birthday on Friday. If you can help me get to 350 by then, that would be a very great birthday present. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else. So I hope you all have a nice Easter. I'll try and get a battle up during Easter or before Easter, but if I don't speak to you again, have a good Easter, and I'll see you later. Bye.